Welcome back to Lord of the Coins, where I objectively give you my analysis based on price action. In this video, we'll be going over an analysis and update from my last video on Vechain, and I'll talk to you guys how Vechain has entered our key area of interest that we mentioned in our last video. And in this video, I'll talk about the exact key levels that Vechain has to overcome to have any sort of bullish price action or bullish sentiment. And before we get started with Vechain, I did want to do a quick update for the last few cryptos that I covered in my last few videos. We'll start with Bitcoin here, and we talked about how Bitcoin was going to find some rejection in this area, and we'd find an entry into a long trade somewhere in this area. We've got our long trigger, and we are in our long trade right now. For a reversal, I would be looking more in this area up here, but I'll have a full video out for you guys probably sometime this weekend. In our Ethereum video, I did mention that we were in this range and that I wouldn't enter into this range until we get a clear deviation of this range, which we did right here. And we've entered our area of demand down here as well. We'll go over to XRP now. And in XRP, I did mention that this tap into the zone of demand would be bullish order flow and that we'd more than likely see a move up. And that is exactly what we've been seeing here. And for XRP, this would be the key level I'll be watching out for around 30 cents. And this is on the Binance chart. If we can get a candle close and reclaim this level, then we're looking fairly bullish on XRP as well. And if you guys want trade calls like this on the daily and more live updates, if that's something you guys are interested in, then please check out my Patreon link in the description down below. So we'll get back to Vechain here. So Vechain has actually entered this weekly order block that we've been talking about on this channel, right here. So the only two things that I'd be concerned about is that we do have a fairly large volume gap right here. And if Vechain falls, we are going to retrace this wick. And I do mention in a lot of my videos where we go over wicks, that wicks get retraced. And this is because there's just so much volume here that all the orders did not get filled that are left over down here. I believe this is a daily order block, but in this daily order block down here, you know, we can pretty much make this a weekly order block like this too, but I don't like the size of the candle body on this order block right here. So I would probably go down to the daily. So actually, let's just do that now. So we'll go down to the daily and see what we got here. So yeah, in terms of this order block, I would actually mark out probably all of these white candles. Something like this would be honestly an ideal area of demand. You can even take your FRVP from this entire range, just like this, to get your POC. And you can see that POC lies around right here. And that's actually exactly where this wick came down and retraced as well. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. So definitely what I would look for here is a sweep of this wick and just somewhere in this general area down here for Bitcoin to retrace to. But I would definitely watch price action down here. We do have relatively equal lows right here, which are also likely targets to get swept. So definitely I would watch Vechain. I wouldn't just set limits, as I think if price does fall down here, it's gonna be a waterfall. So I wouldn't really set limits unless DCAing is more of your thing. Then definitely like these areas are definitely not bad for DCAing. But you know, we just have to kind of observe price action and really minimize risk, especially on altcoins right now. So we'll go down here. So this video is going to be more of a shorter time frame outlook, as I kind of want to give you guys an update on the zone of demand that we've entered. So we'll actually go down to the 1 hour here, and I'll talk about the exact levels that Vechain has to overcome to be bullish in the short term. So it is a good sign that we are actually seeing consolidation in this order block. Although ideally we do want to see a sharp move out of the order block. That's like confirmation that there was a lot of volume. But I do like this shape that we're forming, which is a rounded bottom. Rounded bottoms also mean that there's a ton of liquidity building up, which means, you know, there can be a bigger move going upwards. So this is a good thing. I would be concerned if we were setting lower lows, but we're actually kind of setting higher lows at the moment. So this is good. This is good price action right now. So in terms of the levels that Vechain has to recover, is this level right here at around 0.1676 cents, and this is on the Binance chart. This is because if you go into the 4 hour here, this would be our 4 hour change of character. So let me get rid of these drawings and I'll show you guys what I mean. So in terms of our change of character, so we've had our sweep right here. This is known as our sweep, which is just a sweep of liquidity by market makers. So pretty much anyone who went long a little too early have set their stop losses in this general area. And since there was such a big liquidity buildup, market makers want to sweep that out before moving any sort of movement, upwards. That is what is known as your sweep, and you'll see that everywhere. So pretty much before a market reversal like here, we've had this sweep. I can guarantee you that there was a ton of orders right here, placed a lot of stop losses, people thought we're going down, and then boom, this is your sweep. So this is something that always happens, and something you guys should always be wary of, and this is why you shouldn't FOMO. I'll teach you guys how to not FOMO into trades here. So once you get your sweep, what happens is that you start to build a zone of demand. There were just a lot of orders that filled, and the last thing you need to look for is your change of character, which is right here. So the move that your sweep, you want to take that high and see if that high gets broken. So right now, if we get price action that comes up here and closes, we need a candle close. Wicks are false breaks of structure. So you want a candle close and ideally some sort of consolidation right here. And once you get that, what that does, it generates a zone of demand from the change of character all the way down to the candle wick. So pretty much what happens is that you start to get ranging after these moves up. And then from these range, what you want to trade is a retap into demand. So our trade will look something like this. And what you get from this range is a deviation of the range. You get a tap, and this would be your entry. And this would also confirm bullish order flow. So once you get that, this is kind of the price action you're expected to see. And this is what we see on Bitcoin right now, where we've had our sweep, we've had our change of character, which is this high right here inside, and this generated a zone of demand right here, which was our trade. And so after that, we got some ranging here, and then this is our deviation and entry into the trade. And now we're looking pretty bullish to target some of these areas. This is why you never want to really FOMO. You see price moving up. This is not where you want to enter. You want to enter on these lower deviations of the range. Same with Ethereum, and pretty much same with XRP. We were on our way up. We didn't really get any ranging, but we got a retap into demand, and now we're just going back up. So that is kind of the idea that we want to see on Vechain here. This would be on the 4 hour. If you can get this on the 4 hour, we're looking fairly bullish. But until this key level gets broken at around 0.01677-ish, we're still looking bearish. So right now we do have bearish order flow, and if we don't move up here, then definitely sweeping out these lows and possibly moving up or just dumping here is definitely a possibility as well. So I'm just gonna give you guys the bullish sentiment here. So I'll tell you guys exactly what needs to happen for us to be bullish. Key level right now is this level right here. So once that gets claimed, this would also mean that we've claimed value area on the weekly. So this blue cloud up here, or this white cloud with this blue line, this is our weekly VWAP. So in terms of our weekly VWAP, we want to recover value area, which is this bottom of the cloud. And that would be in line with recovering the change of character on our zone of demand right here. So if we can get ranging here, we can probably see the VWAP cloud kind of do something like this, and reclaiming that value area will look really, really good. And then we get a retap into demand. And possibly if we can reclaim VWAP here, which I think this will honestly be a zone of rejection. And then we probably come down back to value area or previous month low, as this was a area of pretty good support right here. So we can probably see that happen and then maybe see another move up, but it's really going to depend on how the US markets are looking. I believe the US markets are looking pretty bearish at the moment, so we're just gonna have to kind of gauge price action. So that would be the next level that I'd be looking at. First level, this level right here, to get our change of character. We want to see ranging, a retap into demand, deviation of the range. That would be our long entry trigger. So I wouldn't enter long until we get this type of price action, because this is known as double confirmation. we get our first confirmation right here with the sweep. Second confirmation is our change of character. And then, actually this would be triple confirmation. The tap into demand is our triple confirmation. So that is what we want to enter. We have 3 confirmations on our long trade, and it's a very, very high win rate trade. And that's how I managed to have over an 80% win rate on our trades. And it's probably more closer to 90% at the moment. Once we get this, the next key level to reclaim, so I'm gonna go on the daily here. So we want our daily change of character, which is up here. So this is the level that we want to be looking out for. So we would want price to kind of come up here. We do have a node of volume right here. If you guys can see that like this. So that might be a kind of area of rejection. And this is also, I mean, this wick is kind of ugly right here. I'd probably consider maybe this. This is definitely a bearish order block, but I'd probably also consider this a bearish order block right here, as we had a pretty sharp move down. And since these are bearish, I am gonna make them red. This is a little easier to see. So I'm gonna go back onto the daily here. So these are our order blocks, and I wanted to go on a lower time frame, as like these wicks are, they're not good. And honestly, wicks are pretty weak. So the fact that these are wicks, I wouldn't really take them as like official order blocks. You kind of want order blocks to line up on multiple time frames for them to be really accurate. There are a lot of relatively equal highs right here, so I could definitely see, if price does make it up here, I could definitely see it just shooting past up this and finding resistance somewhere else. But yeah, if we get a daily candle close above this level right here at around 0.01935, somewhere around this area, then we're actually looking very, very bullish on the daily. And usually when that happens, what you want to check for are your EMAs, or your moving averages. And by this time, if price action looks like this, your 50 is going to look like this. And then your 200, which is this red, it will look like this. And what you want to see is your 50 come down, or your price action come down to the 50 and find support on the 50-day moving average. This is where a lot of swing traders will enter, and this is a lot of momentum traders will enter right here, or on some sort of deviation of the 50. And maybe they'll get a fractal signal, and that's where they'll enter a long trade for a swing trade here. So that is something that, if you're more of a swing trader, that's something you can look for. This would also be pretty confluent with a rounded bottom. So yeah, this is kind of just my short-term, I guess long-term outlook too on Bitcoin, or on Vechain, sorry. Yeah, ideally this is kind of the price action you guys want to see. So just to recap, quick recap, first level is this change of character that we need to recover around 0.1675. We want to see ranging, retap into demand. And the next level we need to recover is all the way up here on this daily change of character around 0.01935. So if we reclaim those 2 levels, then definitely Vechain is looking bullish. But if we cannot reclaim those levels, then we are still bearish on Vechain. And we'll probably retest these levels, or this level down here. If you guys like this type of analysis, please leave me a like and a comment or subscribe. It just helps out my channel a lot. And yeah, if you guys have any other cryptocurrencies that you guys want me to look at, or forex pairs, or even stocks, just drop a comment down below and I'll definitely get to it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.